Hi everyone, my name is Maria Jose Garcia and my group is formed by Juan David Turizo, Santiago Rivera, Jennifer Bravo, and myself. And we are going to talk about the United Nations Convention of the Use of Electronic Communications in International Contracts. This convention serves a vital purpose to streamline the use of electronic communications in the international trade. Why is this so important? Well, imagine navigating through the complexities of global trade with cumbersome paper-based methods. It's inefficient, time-consuming, and can hinder the pace of business. The Electronic Communications Convention is a game changer. It addresses the formal requirements found in widely adopted international trade laws treaties, like the New York Convention and the CISG, which often pose obstacles to the use of electronic communications. By establishing equivalence between electronic and written forms, these conventions remove these barriers. But it doesn't stop there. It also enhances the harmonization of rules on e-commerce and fosters uniformity in implementing UNCITRAL model laws related to e-commerce.
In the case revolves around the interpretation and application of the United Nations Convention of the Use of Electronic Communications in International Contracts, along with its specific provisions. Some key points that could spark controversy include 1. Interpreting the provisions regarding the scope of the convention, especially concerning excluded contracts and circumstances under which the convention applies. 2. Determining the location of the parties for the purposes of the convention, particularly in case where a party may have multiple places of business or unestablished location. 3. Information and form requirements for electronic communications and international contracts, including the validity and enforceability of electronic communications requirements for writing form and electronic signature. 4. Assigning the reliability and integrity of information contained in electronic communication, especially regarding the security and accessibility of information to future reference. This point may lead to disputes over the interpretation and application of the convention, especially in cases where electronic communications play a significant role in the formation and execution of international contracts.
Hello, my name is Juan David Turizo Alvarez. Today I will speak the legal conflict that may arise from the test and how they can be resolved are as follows. 1. Interpretation of provision regarding the validity and enforceability of electronic communication. These conflicts can be resolved through the interpretation of a specific provision of the convention and, if necessary, by resorting to relevant jurisprudence. 2. 4. Requirement. Conflict relates to 4 requirements can be resolved by following the provision establishing in the convention, which allows electronic communication to meet legally required for requirements. 3. Time and place of dispatch and receipt of electronic communication. These conflicts can be resolved by applying the rules defined in the convention to determine the time and place of dispatch and receipt of electronic communications. 4. Use of aromatic media system. Conflict regarding the use of aromatic media system can be resolved by considering the provision of the convention that regulate the interaction between aromatic system and natural person in contract formation. 6. Availability of contract terms. Conflict over the availability of contract terms can be resolved by following the rules establishing in the convention, which require parties to make contract terms available in certain cases. 6. Mistakes in electronic communication. Conflict related to mistakes in electronic communication can be resolved by following the procedures defined in the convention, which establishing conditions under which a party can be withdrawn a part of an electronic communication due to an mistake. Thank you.
Examples of how certain provisions of the convention would apply. First example, international contract for the sale of electronic goods. If a company in Spain purchases electronic device from a company in Japan through emails and digital signatures, the convention would apply to the formation and execution of that contract. 2 example, exclusion of the convention. 2 companies based in different countries may expressly agree to exclude the application of certain provisions of the convention in their international sales. 3 example, data message. An international distribution contract is negotiated through email exchange between the parties where specific terms and conditions for the agreement are included.